What's going on, ESGNation, and welcome to a new series here on the channel here on ESGNet plus LP, as we have a new series here in College Football 26, and it is a coaching carousel, and it's going to be with the Utah Aggies. And of course, you see they're a two-star team, 71 overall. Their offense needs some work. Their defense could improve. There's some room of improvement. But in today's episode, as you can tell from the title from this one, it's the coaching carousel of Shelton Sherman. Now, if you don't know who Shelton Sherman is, well, shame on you. You definitely should go back and watch our original Highland Scotties series. Shelton Sherman was one of our top defensive ends that really was just pretty much dominating from the word go ever since the first game of that series. And since then, he's he played all 4 years at Highland. Eventually went on to go to the pros, as I believe, if I'm not mistaken, he was in the first year draft when we brought most of those players from that first year of that series. I believe it was Madden. I think it was Madden 22. I think that's when we brought him in there. And of course, he played played several seasons. He was with the Broncos, had a very successful career. If I'm not mistaken, I think he won Defensive Rookie of the Year that first year, and had a phenomenal career there. Well, since then, he played like many young players in his generation. Played for a short time in the NFL, had 5 seasons with the Broncos, had successful runs with them, but never got a national or a NFL championship, never won the Super Bowl. And of course, he was looking to find something else in his life that he can do. He invested his money into a lot of different investments. And one day he went out to Utah, to Salt Lake City, to go visit a friend of his friend of agents, friend of his agents, one of his agents' other, talent that he's working with, and talked to him about about Utah State and how Utah State is a very interesting school. And he really believes that. Basically, that Sheldon can bring. He's the person that he need to bring a winning culture, especially a very tough defensive type of play after school, so they can go on the next level and hopefully become a household name in college football. Well, that is what we're doing here today, as we have created Shelton Sherman here and as a defensive coordinator in this series. So, if you guys remember from my series. There on the main channel with Matt Marvel. We played, he was the offensive coordinator there, and of course we only play the offensive plays there, and that's what we're going to be pretty much doing here. We're going to be playing somewhere around 2 to 3 games an episode, but in this case we're going to be playing more of the defensive roles. We're going to play the moments as a defensive coordinator, so that means we'll be on the defensive side, but we are going to recruit on both sides of the ball. And also, we have a few house rules with this series. So as you see here, he is a motivator here. So his job is trying to motivate the players, try to, obviously get XP to boost their abilities and talents and unlock, abilities for the players there on, we're going to focus on more of the defensive side of things, but also offensively as well. And of course, some of our house rules is, well, basically he has to be a coordinator he can't really take another head coaching job or a head coaching job at least 1 to 2 stars until after season 3. He has to be a coordinator for 3 seasons here at this school. Now, if he does get fired early, then he has to find another job, and of course the clock restarts with him being a coordinator here. Coordinator. And so the idea is we're trying to build our resume up, trying to, go to multiple schools. Another rule is you can't stay at a school more than 5 years unless you get, promoted to either as a head coach. You also can't, after 3 years, you can go to other schools, but you have to stay as a coordinator. So, if we wanted to go to, there are schools out there that were looking for a defensive coordinator, we could go there. Now, his dream school, if you remember from the series, from the Highland Scotties series, he was born and raised in Wisconsin. He was a diehard, Badgers guy, and was dreaming to play there. I believe his younger brother eventually did play there. We tried to recruit his younger brother about 2 years after this into the series. But we did a great job there recruiting him. And of course, he had a really great 4 years there with us. He was up for the Heisman for a while there. Basically our job is try to get him to that job as the Wisconsin's head coach in the series. But we cannot get that job until at least we're 7 years in to our position as a defensive coordinator. And, obviously they would have to, give this job to us. They have to, say, hey, we're looking for a head coaching job. We have a head coaching position. We're interested in you. And, if they offer it to us, we'll take it. But also too, like I said, we got to get him seasoned. We got to get him, don't have to change schools every single year, but, I will have the ability for him getting fired. So if he does have a season that he does not do so well, I'm thinking about putting. We have to be like a 6 and we have to be above 5. We have to be at least 500 or above every season. If we're not, then we get fired. And we have to go to a new school. So keep that in mind. As you take a look here, we're looking at some of the players here, some of the top offensive players here that we'll get to know some here. The quarterback, I like the quarterback. He's pretty decent here for a quarterback in the Mountain West. Some of the offensive coordinators or offensive players like Miles Davis is a pretty good player as well. And of course, we'll take a look at some of the defensive players as well. As you see, Brock Lane, one of our decent tight ends. But also too in this game too, we got to worry about those deal breakers there. And here you see their pro potential is an F right now, and I think we got to have it up higher than that. So the fun part of all this is trying to recruit. And do we recruit? And how do we recruit these players here to come to to little Utah State? So it's gonna be very interesting. It's gonna be very taxing. It's gonna be very trying for this series. I am using Matt 10 slider set. If you guys are not familiar with Matt 10, he's pretty well known in the community. Does a really good job with slider sets there. So I'm using that same slider set that I was usually his. I usually tweak it a little bit there just to for certain things, outcomes I want the game to do and behave and whatnot. But usually his slider sets always have I really have to do too much tweaking. But it usually turns out pretty good games. We had some pretty exciting games here. Especially last year, we used it in the Matt Marvel, excuse me, coaching Carousel, which will still continue. But in that one, we had a really fun time. We recruited a really kick-ass quarterback there, which I'm really excited about getting to learn more about, as well as some pretty good defensive players there that we recruited as well. So, obviously, we're going to be playing on one side of the ball. But then at some point here, I'm hoping, once we get deeper into the series, we will be a head coach, and that means we'll be playing like we normally would in a traditional series. But it'll be the moment. So a lot of times, for the most part in this series, we'll be basically showcasing the moments on the defensive side of things. And then eventually, once we become the head coach, then we'll play the moments for both, depending on what side of the ball. So, excuse me, I think it's a really fun, interesting way of doing things. It kind of speeds the series along. Excuse me. And, it's a fun way of playing the game. different from than what we normally traditionally play with our our series that we normally have on the main channel. And of course, it just it helps me to broaden my skills on playing on one side of the ball than the other, and of course recruiting wise, and just try to be a better recruiter and all that kind of stuff. So as you see here, we got some really talented players here. Man, I had water go down the wrong pipe there. But as we go ahead and see here, we got some really good talented players here. Now, of course, it's Utah State, and they're not going to be, we're not going to be getting to the natty, I say here within the next, I would say it's probably going to take us some time. It's probably going to take us close to a little over 5 years to get there. But the journey of it all is going to be the fun part. Now, eventually, I would like to bring some of these players here that we'll see here, especially once we get into, after the 5 years, we're 5 years into the series and stuff like that, and a lot of these actual players are not in the game anymore. I want to eventually bring in some of these other players that we are going to be recruiting, and if they're talented enough and good enough, and especially if we can get some of them to be drafted, then I would like to bring them over into future series in the Madden game as well. So I think that for the most part will be a lot of fun and exciting. I think a lot of you guys would enjoy that. Just an idea that I'm throwing out there. But like I said, I'm trying my best to speed series along. I'm already got done with season 1 of the Road to Glory with PJ Shiloh. Hopefully you guys have been enjoying that. A lot of you guys have been giving excellent feedback. But with this series, I think it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be different. I've never played in the Mountain West before. I don't know none of the traditions or customs of Utah State. I know they play, they used to play BYU and Utah. I think they still play Utah every year for the there's a boot or something like that, Beehive or something they play for. So that's gonna be fun. Colorado State, we get to play against them. So a lot of cool teams, a lot of interesting teams out there. And Mountain West, there, eventually we are gonna be. I am gonna bring them into the Pac-12. Like so many other Mountain West schools are moving there. If I remember correctly, I think they might be going in real life. I think they're actually going there. If not, well, in this series we are. And then also the second season, when we get into season 2, we will have divisions again in all conferences, but the independent. So everybody's going to be in a conference. Everybody's going to have divisions in their conferences there. Once again, we're going to go back to that, and it's going to be a lot of fun. And like I said, we're going to have Utah State in the Pac-12, and of course then we have to it's going to get really interesting, because now we got to start fighting off other schools like Oregon State and Washington State as well. So yeah, it's going to be very interesting how that's all going to play out. But I think for the most part here, it's going to be a fun series, and I really can't wait to get into it. And I'm going to get into it here very quickly. So, like I said, we'll learn more about Shelton Sherman. We'll get a chance to, not necessarily interview, but we'll give you some more background here. Like I said, if you don't know about him, definitely go check him out. He's in that first season of the Highland Scotties series back in NCAA 14. Like I said, he was a monster on that D-line for us. And it was only a matter of time for him to be a coach there. I like that swag that he got, all that nice gear, that nice vest that he has right there. That's sweet. But as always, guys, stay tuned for more here on the channel. If you guys want to check out this series and, of course, other series as well here on the channel, leave a like. Don't forget to subscribe, and, of course, hit that bell notification so you guys be notified of this series or any other series here on the channel. Again, as always, keep each other healthy, and I will see you all next time.